10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, top. Allumage P120 et décollage.
The very first Vega C on her inaugural flight, clearing the mast, like you said, in a blink of an eye.
Trajectoire nominale.
Just see it through the cloud. Oh, it's a technology high on the leading edge of life there.
Pilotage calme.
Quick, Dante, and you are not joking. It's like George Russell in a racing car.
Trajectoire nominale.
From the beach in Kourou, yes, look at how fast it is. The acceleration is more than 2G.
Acquisition, télémesure par station Saint-Jean.
200 Formula One cars pushing together. And we have,
les paramètres à bord sont normaux.
The flight director is saying that all the parameters are nominal and everything is going well so far.
Yeah, it's already going faster than a fighter jet. It's just past that milestone.
Pilotage calme.
We're following the rocket, of course, because it's visually it's out of sight. I can actually hear it from the Jupiter Control Center now. But
paramètres à bord normaux.
We've got a beautiful quasi-synchronized animation for the duration of this launch. It's not telemetry synced, so although we see things happening on the screen, we will wait for the flight director, who will announce that the event has actually happened.
Trajectoire nominale.
There we go. Everything's normal. The screen is full of information. Dante, can you give us a little bit of information about all those different parameters?
We can see here the ground track, so the projection of the trajectory on the ground. Then the altitude.
Paramètres à bord normaux.
Parameters still nominal. The distance run by the launcher and its speed. And of course, the time passed since the liftoff. Almost 1 minute, 40 seconds.
Yeah, and we've seen some beautiful external camera shots there. They are delayed by about 40 seconds.
Paramètres à bord normaux.
For technical reasons. And there we go, everything's still normal. We are currently flying under the propulsion of the P120C developed by Euro Propulsion, a joint venture between Ariane Group and Avio. We're already coming up to a major double milestone in a few seconds.
P120.
And
Pilotage calme.
Dante will explain what that double milestone is. It's a unique, complex separation of the spent
Trajectoire nominale.
Yes, we are hearing that the trajectory is nominal, parameters are nominal. P120C is slowing its thrust, and we are approaching the separation. Let's wait for the announcement of the flight director.
The animation.
Séparation P120.
There he goes. He's
Allumage Z40.
And it's ignited.
Yeah, this is already a very major milestone of this flight, because we had the in-flight qualification, so demonstration that we fulfill all the objectives and requirements for this first stage that can be considered qualified for future Vega C missions and flight proven to be used as strap-on booster for the upcoming Ariane 6.
Yeah, so you may have noticed in that 3D animation there that there were some retro rockets. Give us a little...
Trajectoire nominale.
We have these 8 small retro rockets that they provide a
nominale.
thrust to the P120C, because it is so big and with so much residual inertia that we must be sure it won't hit the rest of the rocket once separated.
So, of course, we heard the DDO announce, the flight director announced that the Z40 ignition, second stage, which has a 92-second burn time, and we're doing this dogleg maneuver as well now. So this is the second stage. It's also like the first stage. It's a solid rocket motor. Talk me through the Z40, Dante.
Solid rocket motors that in less than 2 minutes will bring the rocket up to 16,000 kilometers per hour speed and more than 180 kilometers of altitude.
Trajectoire nominale.
So look at the camera. The Earth is not flat. We can see it.
Well, it wasn't flat 40
clearly.
seconds ago. We can't confirm it is flat now.
We have this really nice view from the
Pilotage calme.
The guiding, you can hear the flight director saying pilotage calme. That means in French that the guiding so far is very smooth, and it's a very good sign.
Yeah, that's.
Les paramètres à bord sont normaux.
And parameters are nominal, and then we are approaching also the separation of the second stage that as well is doing its first in-flight mission. So in a few seconds we should listen to the flight director.
We're going to have the second stage separation, and we'll wait for the DDO to announce that. But we're also going to have ignition of the third stage and fairing release in quick succession. So pay attention. We're coming up to that milestone there. It's on the animation. It's here for the DDO.
Séparation Z40.
And there it is, separated. There's the firing on the animation. Frédéric?
Allumage Z9.
Yes, and it is firing. And there was my favorite moment.
Séparation de la coiffe.
And Didio confirms it actually happens. It's the separating of the fairings. It's one when you watch it for the first time, you think, what, you know, you're exposing your payload to the rushing wind as the rocket barrels through space. But of course, we're well into space now. We're twice the height of the Kármán line. So Dante, tell me what's happening here.
Look, we are already at 194 kilometers of altitude. It means the atmosphere there is so thin that there is no possible harm to the payload. So for this reason, we get rid of the fairing because its aerodynamic and protection functions have expired, and now it has just
Trajectoire
useless
nominale,
mass.
paramètres à bord nominaux.
So now we don't want to bring up with us to the very end this useless mass, because the lighter you are, the more performance you get, and the better it is. And look at this.
Oh, beautiful view from the onboard
beautiful
camera. That separation happened 70 seconds ago. With the technical reason for the delay has meant that we see that it's 70 seconds behind now. But that's actually quite useful because we get to comment on it. And look, there's the fairing wobbling away. Oh, that's absolutely beautiful, falling down to, like you say, a sort of
Propulsion nominale, paramètres à bord normaux.
So everything's normal. We're looking at the, what stage are we looking at now? We're looking at the Z9 stage. Yeah, the third stage, and it's flying on the animation. Talk us through this particular flight, because we're going to see a maneuver any second now that's quite interesting.
Yes, you have seen now, since the separations of the first and second stage, they fall back into the ocean, while for the Z9 we are already at 240, we will reach almost 300 kilometers of altitude, and it will continue in a ballistic trajectory going on. So we have to manage carefully with this maneuver we are seeing in the animation. It is called the neutral axis maneuver, and this way we can manage properly the fall down point of this third stage that will happen in the Polar Sea.
Yeah.
Pilotage calme.
And still everything's fine. The telemetry on the screen and the animation represent the exact rocket maneuver, so we can see it's absolutely normal following that green track. So we'll always hear the confirmation from the flight director that things are happening, but the animation seems to be just before it's saying and everything is still normal. That third stage is almost spent now. It's how's it different? It's no different from the other two stages, is it?
No, it's just smaller, but it brings the most difference in terms of gaining speed.
Séparation Z9.
There we go. The Z9 has separated. Confirmation. It will safely fall near the pole, and this is Vega's first time around the globe, and unfortunately last as well. So let's talk about ground stations, actually, Dante. We'll be losing the satellite to a blind spot in the ground station coverage in about 1 minute 30 seconds, I believe, and that's going to be for about 5 minutes. So what exactly does it mean to lose ground stations?
Orbite atteinte après extinction Z9 nominale.
Oh, well, let's soak in that view of the blue marble here.
I was listening for the flight director saying that still everything is nominal. So the rocket is guided autonomously by its own board computer. That is good.
Oh,
no one with the joystick piloting it.
Just watching the that separation of the stage falling down.
This is amazing. Yeah.
Awesome.
Still, it is still not flat. Yeah, but what we have to absolutely need to do is to constantly know where it is, the launcher, and how it is doing. We have listened so far to
visibilité Saint-Jean.
Yes, to the various announcements from the flight director, and he can do this only because we have this ground station, so big antennas spread all around the world that are there to retrieve all the telemetry data coming from the rocket. In this way, we know what is happening and that everything is nominal, and as the flight director just announced. And each antenna has a visibility cone, and when we design the mission, we don't only maximize and optimize the performance, but we must also ensure. But look, we have
that's the payload.
Yes, an inside view of the LARES 2 inside the fairing.
If you think it looks like a mirror ball,
yeah, indeed,
it really does. It really does. And I think we've just had announced that the telemetry was lost there.
Perte normale de la télémesure en fin de visibilité Galio.
Exactly, and so I was saying that thanks to we ensure that all the main events happen in full visibility.
Yeah, so we're higher than the ISS. I don't know how we managed to miss it, but we managed to miss.
Visibilité Galio confirmée.
Managed to miss the ISS there. So there was confirmation the rocket is out of sight, but it's certainly not out of mind. She's bravely flying all on her own. What happens to all that telemetry, though, when the rocket is out of the gaze of the ground stations?
What we do is that all the flight data are being stored in a special unit, the mass memory unit, ready to be sent in packages as soon as back in visibility of the next ground station. In this way, we ensure that we have all the data also to perform the post-flight analysis that is very important.